Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Michael, you're watching IDB, and in this video I wanted to cover iOS 16.1. So as we stand right now, iOS 16.1 is on its third beta, and I actually went ahead the other day and installed it on my main iPhone. And that's because I was experiencing so many bugs with iOS 16.0.2. And if you follow me on Twitter, you probably saw my tweet about that. I honestly can't even believe that 16.0.2 made it out to a final release. Every time I would pick up my iPhone, it's like I would experience an all new bug. So I just got fed up with that and I finally installed iOS 16.1. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but a beta is actually more stable than 16.0.2. So in this video, I want to cover all of the bugs that are fixed, and I also want to show you some of the new features in iOS 16.1. So let's go ahead right now and jump in. So I was able to come up with a list of 5 bugs that I experienced on iOS 16.0.2 that I am yet to experience on 16.1. So let me know in the comments if you are experiencing any of these bugs as well. The first one was just complete random freezing of my iPhone. So the most common one is I would take my iPhone out of my pocket, and because I have the 14 Pro, it would be showing the always on display. And I would tap the screen to turn it on, and I would also swipe up, and the screen would just refuse to turn on. Eventually, of course, 5 to 10 seconds later, it would catch up and the screen would turn on, but that's really not what I expect out of an iPhone experience. I just want the screen to turn on the second I take it out of my pocket. So that was really frustrating. The next one was kind of strange. It was with the speaker and the keyboard. So you know when you have your ringer turned on and you're typing and you can hear those keyboard click sounds out of iOS? Well, every now and then when I would start typing on my iPhone's keyboard, for like the first 1 to 2 seconds, that keyboard clicking sound was like 5 times the level of volume that it should be. And again, 2 seconds later, it would correct itself and it would go down to that lower level of volume. But again, it was really jarring. And another really strange bug I experienced in 16.0.2 was with the music application. So sometimes I outright quit the music app in the app switcher like this if I want to stop my music from playing. And in 16.0.2, when I would do that, sometimes the music would just keep playing for up to 10 seconds after I killed it in multitasking. So that's really not the experience that I expected out of iOS. As soon as I kill the music app, I want my music to stop playing. But in iOS 16.0.2, I guess that's a really weird bug where the music can keep playing in the background for some reason. And I'm also noticing in iOS 16.1 that all of my home accessories are a lot more responsive. So sometimes in iOS 16.0.2, all of my home accessories like my lights in my office just wouldn't respond as fast. So now in 16.1, I'm able to control all of my home accessories a lot faster. So the final bug that I encountered in 16.0.2 is probably the most common one, and I have seen a ton of reports of this online. So AirDrop is very unreliable in 16.0.2. I did a test where I tried sending a file from my iPhone to my Mac before I updated to 16.1, and the transfer took about a minute. And before the file even started transferring, it took about 10 seconds for the iPhone to even establish a connection to my Mac. And then once I updated to iOS 16.1 beta, the connection was established almost immediately, and the file transfer went through faster as well. So I don't know what was wrong with AirDrop in 16.0.2, but luckily it is a lot faster and more reliable in 16.1. Now that I've covered all the bug fixes, I can now show you some of the new features in iOS 16.1. So probably the biggest new change here in 16.1 is the all-new wallpaper section in settings. So in previous versions of iOS, so 16.0.2 and previous, you would only be able to change your wallpaper from the lock screen. So if you had multiple wallpapers, you would have to press and hold, and then you could change your wallpaper from this menu right here. But now you can actually do this right from settings. So inside the wallpaper section, you're now able to swipe between all of your current wallpapers, and you can see there's a button here at the top that lets you set it as your current wallpaper. And if I swipe down, you can see it changed my wallpaper. So this is a lot easier. Another really nice change in 16.1 is for editing your home screen wallpaper. So I think a lot of people are really going to appreciate this change. Now when you press and hold on your lock screen, if you press on the customize icon at the bottom, it's now going to ask you if you want to customize your lock screen or your home screen. Previously in iOS 16, it would immediately jump you into the lock screen editor, but now you have the option to customize your home screen right from here. iOS 16.1 also brings some nice updates to the battery indicator. So most of you already know that in iOS 16, Apple added the option to see your battery percentage in the top right corner without going into Control Center. And in iOS 16.1, we have some nice updates to this. So first off, the indicator is now actually live. So in the previous version of iOS 16, the icon always looked like a full battery. Even if your iPhone was at, say, 30%, a quick glance up to the top right corner made it look like your iPhone was at full battery, even if it was at a very low level. And now in iOS 16.1, the battery indicator is now actually representative of your current level, and it still shows the percentage inside it. And with this battery indicator, a lot of you know that it was not available on certain iPhones. So the iPhone XR, 11, 12 mini, and 13 mini unfortunately did not support this, but now in 16.1, all Face ID iPhones can now show the battery percentage. So here is my iPhone 13 mini, and you can see there is that new indicator. You can see it shows the live status of my battery as well as the actual number inside. And it now works on all iPhones. So it's kind of nice that even if you have an older iPhone 11 or XR or even one of the tiny iPhone minis, you can now get this feature. And iOS 16.1 brings back a feature that Apple actually removed in iOS 16. It was present in iOS 15, and a lot of people wanted this feature back. So now when your iPhone is charging and you turn on your lock screen, you can now see your battery level right above the time as you could before in iOS 15. We also have a new setting inside of App Store settings. So you can see this toggle is called in-app content, and this is new in 16.1. If you have this turned on, any new application that you download from the App Store is going to be able to download some of its in-app assets before you even launch the app for the first time. So I assume this could be useful for some games. You know, when you download a game from the App Store and then you launch it for the first time, it has to download a whole bunch of stuff from the internet. Well, now it can start downloading those in-app assets before you even launch the app for the first time. And I'm also seeing a little change inside of the music player. Now, you can tell me if this was present in iOS 16.0, but I do believe this is new. So whenever you have a pair of headphones connected, in the bottom of the music player, the icon is now going to represent the actual headphones that you have connected. I believe in previous versions of iOS 16, this icon here at the bottom was only a little AirPlay icon, but now the icon is actually showing the headphones that you have connected. And we also have a very small change for when you take a screenshot. So as soon as you click the Done button on the top left, the menu now comes out of the top left corner. In previous versions of iOS 16, this menu would come out of the bottom of the screen. iOS 16.1 also now brings support for the Live Activities API, meaning that developers are now able to turn on live activities for their applications. And for iPhone 14 Pro users, they can now keep track of their live activities inside the dynamic island for third-party applications. So another feature that's enabled with 16.1 is the live activity for Friday Night Baseball with Apple TV. So this only works if a game is currently going on, so I can't show you live, but I do have a few screenshots that I got off of Twitter. So this is what it looks like on the 14 Pro when a game is currently going on. You can see the dynamic island is going to show the score in the game, which is really cool to me. And if you press and hold on the island, you can get a bit more detail like this. And also the live activity is going to show up at the bottom of your lock screen as well. Another very tiny change is iOS 16.1 now lets you delete the wallet application. So if you never use the wallet application, you can now delete it right from your iPhone and save a little bit of space. Inside of the battery settings of iOS 16.1, we have a small labeling change. So previously this section was just called battery health. Now it's called battery health and charging. And Apple is also working on a feature called clean energy charging. So there was a toggle for this in iOS 16.1 beta 2, but they have removed it for some reason in beta 3. So I don't really know how it's going to change the performance of your iPhone, but Apple is apparently working on something that is going to allow you to reduce your carbon footprint when charging your iPhone. So now what I want you guys to do is head down to the comments and first tell me if you are experiencing as many bugs as I was on iOS 16.0.2. And second, tell me what your favorite new feature is in iOS 16.1. Personally, for me, I think it's a toss-up between the new battery indicator and the Live Activities API, but definitely make sure to tell me in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. So that's gonna do it for me in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Michael with IDB, and I'll catch you in the next one.